Welcome back to Opinion Leaders, and still with my guest, Mr. Jonas Bagas from the Akbayan Gay and Lesbian Collective, and still talking about gay and lesbian rights. Jonas, at this point, Akbayan has done so much to create acceptance, and I know that Akbayan is also lobbying for the RH bill, which also gives women the choice, you know, on what to do with their bodies and how to respect themselves. So I guess this is a move towards humanism and humanism in its real and true form. So can you tell us about? Of course, we want this bill to be passed, but while it hasn't been passed yet, I'm sure you guys are doing other measures in order, you know, to take care of our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters. So, what other measures, what activities, anything in particular?
I think one flank of the advocacy is educating the public.
Information dissemination.
Yes, and at the same time, making the public understand that this isn't a novelty. This is actually part of, if we want to progress, if we want our society to develop and make sure that all of our potentials are given the chance, this is connected to development. So we're also part of the movement to make the LGBT community more visible. So every year we are part of the annual LGBT Pride March, where normally you'd see our political leaders there, regardless of their sexual orientation and gender identity. Risa Hontiveros is always part of the Pride March. Eta Rosales before used to come, and she still, as the chair of the Commission on Human Rights, she's still very much supportive of LGBT rights as well. So we want the public to see that it's actually okay, even for political parties, those who are green and determined in the political sphere, to tackle or to champion LGBT rights.
Okay, I have a question, and I guess this might, you know, spark many comments, but I feel I have to ask it. Do you think, in a quote-unquote normal society, are there still a lot of people who hide behind, who are in the closet, who are in denial and stuff like that? I mean, people who are in office, lawmakers. I mean, people in let's say, in professions where they don't want to compromise their whoever they are. Are there a lot? This is important. I guess this should inspire people.
Actually, yes. I mean, you'd be surprised. I've been out since 1998, but depending in the context, I would sometimes go back inside a closet and pretend to be straight. And it's a question of, like, for example, if I'm with friends who are not out to their family, when we are in public and they fear that, you know, their family might know of their sexual orientation or that they're gay, then I try to pretend to be straight. I mean, and it's okay. I guess it depends on if it would be harmful for them to disclose their sexual orientation, then we should recognize that, you know, that it's okay that not to talk about it or to be less open about it.
Yes, okay. So but that's just for a moment, and it's case to case, right? Of course, it's case to case. Okay. Next question: do you think the stereotypical or the stereotypes of being gay, especially in our country, wherein a lot of gay men actually revert to being, let's say, cross-dressers, wear makeup, conduct themselves in a very flamboyant manner, and with their shrill voice, and they over sensationalize things. Is there a contribution in this for, let's say, lack of acceptance because of the image that some, I'm sure not all, this is a very, you know, but they're the ones visible, or they want to be visible.
I think we should actually trace that to our low regard towards women. We think that being effeminate is wrong. It's a sign of weakness. So therefore, if you're male, then you shouldn't be effeminate. Because it indicates that you're
a weaker sex.
That you're actually weaker than women because you're just faking it. So So it's a machismo mentality that we should actually confront because it's wrong. There's nothing wrong with being effeminate. It's not an indication of weakness.
That's true.
And we shouldn't attribute anything towards that because it's only an expression of how they think they should conduct themselves in public.
I see.
In the end, I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but what's inside, that's what matters in the end.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, you know, I'm of the school that believes that women are actually the stronger sex in the sense that physically they live longer, which is true. There are more widows than there are widowers. And statistics can prove that. Secondly, I think women are more organized. They're more organized with their thoughts. They're more monogamous.
Yeah.
I mean, men are, you know, have a tendency to be, let's say, to be pulled to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back. I guess it's just part of, you know. So I guess we need to realize that there are aspects of women that would actually work well with men also. So, with all this being said, is there anything that you would like to add? Anything based on your own personal experience? I'm sure, Jonas, you've gone through a lot of challenges. So, would you like to take this opportunity to inspire, you know, whoever needs to be inspired? People who are in the closet, people who are scared, people who are feeling bad for being who they are. And that is, I think, what's sad is that you can't be yourself because you think there's something wrong with you.
I think, siguro I just want to clarify that when people talk about homosexuality, they fear that our agenda is just to push for same-sex marriage and to impose our own lifestyle upon the public, and that's not really correct. Our main agenda is just understanding, making sure that as a society we actually accept that we are diverse, and that's a fact. That's a fundamental fact. And at the same time, there's nothing wrong with having a different sexual orientation or gender identity. People say that homosexuality is something that we imported from the West, or it's a natural. But when you look at nature, I mean, you look at the sexual behavior of other animals, you'd find that, you know, homosexuality has been there ever since. It's part of their sexual behavior. Homosexuality is indigenous as well. I mean, it's part of our history. People in our own culture have cross-dressed, have practiced homosexual behavior in the past. So it's not something that we imported. It's natural, even for Filipinos.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure, you know, like if there's other, like other, let's say, how would you say, like Siamese twins or people who are born with certain, like, two organs and stuff like that, you would also look at that. Let's say, I don't know, because with men it's not very obvious, but a lot of lesbian women, you know, or you would say here in the Philippines they call them tomboys. If you look at some of them, everything is male. Everything. I mean, bone structure, even the way the hair grows. The only difference is that they have a front and the genital area is female. But I'm sure if you look at it, you know, somewhere along the line, that it could have been that this embryo was developing male, and then something just happened. So I mean, it's nobody's fault. You know, it's just something that you need to accept. And I think to be honest, there's really nothing wrong. At the end of the day, I mean, everybody has the right to be what they want to.
That's true. I mean, why should it matter?
Exactly. It shouldn't matter.
Why should it matter? And whether it's biological,
or
environmental, why should it matter? We are all accorded with the same dignity. We're all part of the human family, and that should be respected. I don't think we can move forward without that sense of acceptance of the diversity of our own society.
Actually, Jonas, at the end of the day, you know, as after speaking about all of this, it's just as simple as being short or tall. I mean, you're just either gonna grow up tall or you're going to stop at a certain height and you're not gonna grow anymore. And there's absolutely nothing you can do. But it doesn't mean that this short person cannot achieve the same things. It's really that simple. I mean, what's sad about it is tayo lang din ang nagpapahirap sa ating sarili, no?
Imagine all these stereotypes or the biases that we ascribe because of someone's height.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, for example, if you're short, you cannot play certain types of sports. But you know what? A short person can actually move in certain places that a tall one can. Many short people are less clumsy, which you can actually harness a certain skill of a person to integrate with the rest. I mean, there's something for everyone. And we have to realize this, right? I mean, we accept many other things. We accept people who are flat-footed. We accept people who are creative and think with the left side of their brain as well. Or for example, with me, I was discriminated against because I was terrible in math. And for a while, I was really feeling inadequate because why can't I pass math? I have been failing it in second year high school, and I could not even pass it, honestly. I had a hard time passing it. But at the end of the day, what I told myself was, okay, so I'm poor in math. Let's develop some other talent that I have. I'm sure it's lying in there somewhere in my brain. So I guess it's just the same. And okay, realistically, let's say this bill is passed. Let's say everything turns out well. How long before we can actually accept all angles of this in society? What do you think, Jonas?
I don't think there's a timeline for that. I think we can just consider the elements that would tell us that equality has finally arrived in our country, and for me that would entail, or that would include parents finally realizing that there's nothing wrong with having gay or lesbian children, or when you are in school, you come out and it's no big deal, it's not a big news. So the yardstick would be tolerance and accepting, that it's just a fact of life.
It's just a fact of life. And at this point, Jonas, is there any, let's say for any of our viewers who might have questions, or let's say parents who want help, or even kids who want to actually start accepting themselves? And I think also that's my advice to our younger generation now. Regardless of who doesn't accept you, you need to accept yourself. So you need to let's say be okay for yourself, and it's your responsibility. So where can they get in touch with you guys? Any questions? Any websites or whatever?
If they want to support the passage of the anti-discrimination bill, they can just send an email to me, to Jonas Bagas at gmail.com, or call Akbayan. Our number is 433-6933. And if they are in need of certain services, like maybe psychosocial support because of their sexual orientation and gender identity, they can just call Akbayan. And unfortunately, we don't have services for that, but we can refer them to organizations who can provide support.
Okay, so thank you so much, Jonas Bagas from Akbayan Gay and Lesbian Collective. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. I've learned a lot, and I guess for me, to everybody else, let's respect each other. Let's love one another. I mean, we're all here together, and you never know, who's going to help you? Who's going to make your day? Anybody can make your day. So let's just push for this. Let's push for equality. Let's move together. And I think start the right attitude and the right mindset go a long way. Thank you very much to Total Skincare, Dr. Carrie Legaspi, and also to Mr. Pep Silvestre. And here I am moving again too much. Until next week, watch us again on Opinion Leaders. Bye for now. Have a nice weekend.